hey, hey, hey. I'm like, oh, Jamaica, seriously. Hey, everybody.
It's like he like says it says like go live, and then all of a sudden you're like a deer in headlights, and we just start moving, and we're like, ah!
You gotta love lives, you get the real. So, hello, everybody. It is Monday, and we just wanted to come on. We kind of talking, and we feel like this is a really good time. Well, first of all, you know who I am, and you probably know who Tamika is. Says our names in the corners, right?
Yeah.
But we just wanted to come on here and talk about how many times does a weekend come, or a vacation come, or summer, just in general. The barbecues, and just, well, some about the hot weather makes you want to have a drink and eat the appetizers that are not good for us, and we let it throw us off. And so we wanted to talk about how to kind of rein it back in, how to have those things, but how to rein it back in and continue on with that healthy lifestyle. So,
Yeah. Speaking of summer, I am wearing a hoodie right now, and you're in a tank top. So
I'm not gonna lie. I saw you in a beanie cap the other day, and I'm just like, we sat outside in 106-degree weather for 13 hours all day Friday and all day Saturday, and I'm like, I'm not really complaining though. I mean, it's hot, but it is what it is, like.
So as you guys are hopping on, tell us where you're at. I'm in Wyoming. Megan's in Arizona. Okay, so clothing choice here lets you know. Nikki's in Arizona life. She's like, haha, so hot. Okay. Yes. So we want to talk to you. Like we're super busy. Like we are running around. It's summertime, vacation time, or running around to splash pads and different pools and sporting events. What do you guys have going on this summer? For us, it's a lot of sports camps. And some mountain time, because we are hunters in the fall. So we got to get up and down into the mountains and move our trail cameras and things around like that. So that's what our summer normally consists of. And so, yeah, just how to get back on track or stay on track while you are out and about living crazy summertime life. How's that sound?
I want to hit it. I want to hit all the points, I mean, so many times we just, and like I said, we're busy. Our lives revolve around our kids' activities. I mean, we can't be the only ones. I know I say that all the time, but like, I'm sure everybody tuning in can agree to that. And if it's not your kids, you're busy. You're empty nester, and you're filling your time with fun stuff, right?
Right. That's what
it's supposed to be, right? Kids is not fun. But I just want to talk about all things, not just food related, but mindset, movement. How we the things that we use to supplement our bodies, just different things. And I think there's just so many little tips and tricks to that we can do so we can move forward,
So where do we want to start?
I want to just like start right off the bat, like addressing like the elephant in the room, as far as like, okay, like this weekend I pack most of our food when we go to swim meets, and we're pretty good at sandwiches, protein balls, fruit, all that stuff. But we had to like eat out a little bit. And when we eat out, a lot of times I don't stay on track. Like my husband found a great pizza place. We went for pizza. And you know what? I didn't feel guilty ordering it. I didn't feel guilty eating it. And I didn't feel guilty after I ate it. It was really good. And it's that mindset, one of the things that I like to do is I ordered a side salad, ate that first, got my stomach a little more full, and I had less pizza than I normally would.
Right.
And I do that for a couple reasons. One, because when you overeat, I mean, who overeats and you feel like crap afterwards?
You always feel like crap after you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know who can't, who doesn't.
Yeah, well, and especially if you're already eating, like I don't eat a lot of gluten. And so the pizza crust had gluten in it. I'm not celiac, so I can handle it, but I get really bogged down and tired and like brain fog and all this stuff. And it's like, so if I don't eat a ton of that, I'm a lot better off. So those are some tips.
Well, and I want to reiterate what you said, because I didn't even realize this, but we do this a lot of times too. When you are traveling, put a cooler in your back seat and bring some of your own food. It's cheaper. It's gonna be healthier. We love just stopping at like a grocery store, like maybe when we get there, and grabbing a rotisserie chicken and like some frozen vegetables that we could throw in the fridge, or like bring sandwich stuff, bring some fruit to snack on. Protein balls are an easy thing that you can make at home before you go. So I think that is a great tip in and of itself when you are doing your traveling, to pack some of your own food. Don't go out to eat for every single meal if you don't have to.
Well, and you nailed it on the head. Even if you don't want to spend the whole day in the kitchen preparing for it, there's things that you can stop at a grocery store and pick up that are, lower cost. A rotisserie chicken probably, holds your whole family over. You can snack. You don't have to eat your meal, but it could be like a snack that you're pulling food off. Some fruit, whatever. So you can find that stuff. It doesn't have to be time consuming. It can be of convenience. And thankfully we have that available to us wherever,
And let's talk supplements real quick while we're talking about pizza. Okay. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Like eat it, enjoy it. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you have to go run like 6 miles the next day. Like live your life, right? If you're not trying to go to some type of bodybuilding competition or like swimsuit competition, like live your life, enjoy it. It's okay. It's not going to make or break the bank. But one thing that we like to keep in the center console of our car is, where's my camera? It's called Carb Blocker. There we go. You can kind of see it. But you just take 1 to 3 of these before a carb-loaded meal, and it's going to work in your stomach to absorb some of those bad fats and those bad carbs, and then just help your body pass through it. So that way it doesn't absorb into your body and turn to glucose and then store for later. And so that's like a really easy thing that we do too. Like we did go to Chuckarama and I did eat 3 scones and they were absolutely delicious. And so just having these in the center console of my car, even if I take them after my meal, because maybe I had good intentions when I went in there, but I did not come out having achieved that. So just like to take these either before or after your meal to help do some damage control is a great thing to have on hand. And that's just called Carb Blocker, and it's super simple.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have those laying around as well. So I probably don't use them that much. But I do think they're awesome. And what I do like is that after you're eating that kind of heavy meal, you have that crash, where when you take those, you don't feel that. And that's the thing, like when you don't have the time to crash because you're chasing, a busy schedule. I mean, who's got time for the crashing nap in the afternoon after a heavy meal?
Right.
I don't. Yeah. And so the biggest thing too, when you're done, like today's Monday, okay, and we're all kind of recovering, I just want to give you guys a couple tips. There's other things, but when we're talking about food, I just want to I want to throw in a couple tips to kind of get back on track. And the first thing is when you wake up in the morning, Monday morning, or if you're coming home Tuesday morning, whatever day you're starting off from your weekend, start it off with lemon water. It's going to help flush out your system. And then the second one would be to, throughout the whole day, try to hit 100 ounces of water a day. And I know that makes a lot of people cringe. And I'll talk about the mindset piece in a second. And thirdly, add veggies and lean protein to every meal. This is going to help you get back on track. Plus, if you're like me, when you've been like kind of splurging a little bit more, I feel like my appetite gets a little bit more like, it's there more, because I think of, just the ups and downs from all the carbs and everything.
Yeah.
And so when you're bulking up your meals with that, you're gonna have more control over your appetite. So
I want to ask about water real quick. And I'm going to put you on the spot if you know or don't know. They always say lemon water. Like, what does the lemon in the water do?
It's like a detox kind of, basically, like helps just flush out your system and stuff like that. And the biggest thing is when you're not going to gain 8 pounds legitimately over a weekend. By having, even if you had 5 pieces of pizza, you're not going to gain 8 pounds. It's mainly water weight. That's why it's like, just hop back in. Don't get stressed out about it. It's like, it's just, you just don't. One weekend's not going to, but now if you continue, that's why I'm like, you know what? Just recheck yourself, like, okay. And this isn't like, oh my gosh, I can't have any of that anymore. It's like, no, you know what? I'm sure I'll have something like that maybe in the near future,
Yeah.
But it's also about listening to your body. Like we were just talking about, like a piece of pizza makes me feel satisfied. 2 or 3 makes me not feel good.
And being able to stop, use that self-control.
Yeah. And to learn to know when your body's like, I don't eat till I'm so full anymore because like you said, you don't feel good, but it's just not good for us. And then you're sluggish or whatever. And I know when I have one piece of pizza with that side salad, I'm full. Those cravings, that satisfaction is hit, and I feel fine. I can walk out and I can still have my energy and I can move forward. And so those are things too to take with you when you're out to eat or you're at a barbecue or whatever. It's like there's cookies, there's cupcakes, there's whatever. Have a cupcake.
Right.
And be done with that. Don't go back for the second or the third because you're not going to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Agreed.
So, is there anything else that I didn't cover that you wanted to talk about on that actual?
Well, and I'm just trying to think too, like when it comes to like a body reset, like when you're coming in, you know, like sometimes after a long weekend or a trip or something, I like to do a cleanse. I don't have one with me, but like I like to do like some kind of like we have a 3-day cleanse or like you said, drinking water with lemon. I think that those things are really good because when you do eat crappy for multiple days, you do have those cravings that are sometimes hard to turn off. And so even like doing like intermittent fasting a little bit in there, just to kind of like purge my body of those cravings that I'm having, I think helps a lot.
Well, and they're really good for like a gut reset, meaning it's like those things that we eat aren't healthy for our gut. And, you know, you've heard, I'm sure most of us have heard of the buzz of, you know, your gut's your second brain. So like if you're not taking care of your gut, if you're not, you know, feeding it good stuff, you need to, just cutting out bad food is not enough. You got to actually heal it and take care of it. And, you know, it's kind of like building muscle, you know, you got to work, you know, baby it, you know, it's the same thing with your gut. It's the same thing like that our 3-day cleanse that we do. It's not just about getting rid of water weight. It actually goes in and kind of helps heal and repair and do all those things to your gut, which is going to set you forward.
And I think that kind of will lead us into our next thing about being active, you know, like when you're coming off of a weekend or a trip, sometimes you feel sluggish and slow and not energy, and that has to do with your gut. And so resetting it with lemon water, resetting it with a cleanse is going to help get your energy up and get your body moving again. So then that way you can get right back on track. And I feel like when you exercise, you actually have more energy. Sometimes we don't feel like it, especially when you come in late or you're just bloated and feeling blah, but like you can push through that and keep going like an exercise and you're going to have so much more energy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, exercise is such a huge thing. And, you know, and that's the other thing too. I feel like we look at exercise. A lot of us, I know I used to, I don't anymore, but my viewpoint on exercise was I was like a punishment. Like I ate like junk, so I got to work my butt off at the gym or walk or run or whatever. So I don't see the effects of that on my weight. And that's literally all I thought of what exercise was for. But it's really not about that. It's so you feel better. It's scientifically a fact that exercise will help with gut health. Not to mention your serotonin levels, which is, you know, your mental health. You know, we all I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's a huge reason why I walk myself into the gym not every day, but the days I do go. And so look at it as more of a reward. Like I get to go and move my body this morning. You know, I was sluggish this morning, that's for sure. But I got up, I did. And that's the other thing, that building those habits. I was telling a friend this morning, like many, many months of me intentionally getting up and getting my workout clothes on before I do anything in the morning has now become a habit. So I make sure I get my butt to the gym.
Right.
You know, I mean, like we talked about in here, you going to bed in your workout clothes. I mean, that probably wasn't something you did at first, but you built that habit.
Yeah.
And so that's how you also get back on track, is by relying on those healthier habits that you built, you know?
And like too, having an accountability partner. So like woke up this morning and I work out with my husband, you know, and so we're headed to the garage to go get it done. Even though I was busy all weekend out of town, he was working, like we still woke up early in the morning. We got it done. And, you know, I looked at him and said, I don't have to go my best today because I'm not feeling it, but I just have to go better than you. I just gotta beat you, and I did. And so that's ultimately what matters in our relationship. But it's nice to have an accountability partner. It's nice to have a routine that's just set. And even when you don't feel like it, you do it anyway. And I'm so glad that I did. Like, I feel so much better. Then we went on a walk around the block. Then we woke up the kids and we helped them with a little workout. And it was like, man, if I would have just slept in, because we were tired, if we just would have slept in, like, our day would have been off to a really rough start.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about it, like you just said. So one, you and your husband do it together. So this can stream on to so many things. Think how good that is for a relationship, and then you get your kids involved. I mean, think about what kind of life that they're learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's by example, and you're spending time with them at the same time. You're being together as a family.
Yeah.
We have our downtime where we sit in front of the TV at times, but the active parts of it are more,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's so much more to that. I love that. And you know what? Here's the other thing. The accountability, you nailed it on the head, is so, so important. I mean, you and I talk a lot about, like, when we're doing our work, we can kind of just go to work and, we don't always need accountability. But I feel like in certain aspects of our life, if it's something that we can't do, like we're not disciplined enough to sit down and do it on our own, then accountability is something that is needed. And that's what this group is for. That's
exactly what I was going to say. It's like, get in here, like, post your sweaty selfies, share what you're having for dinner, ask a question, ask for help, or find somebody in here that, you're going to expect to see every day, and like, that's how this whole thing started, is like, I needed accountability with my nutrition. I needed accountability with exercise. I needed accountability with mindset. And so thus the Get Fit Club was created,
And thank you for that. Right. I love, that's just it. And that's half the reason why I started sharing my journey in social media, was because if I'm showing up, I'm showing up and I'm saying something, then I know I have to do it. Like, I will make sure I do it, and so it's the same thing in this group. And, if you don't have an accountability partner and you need one, like you said, put a post up. Hey, this is what I'm looking to accomplish. Anybody else kind of have the same goals and want to hold each other accountable? Or get with the person that added you, right? Or invite you here, and they will help either be your accountability partner, or they'll help match you up with somebody or whatever. But that is so key.
Or invite an accountability partner in here. Go invite your girlfriends and be like, hey, listen, we got to do this. We keep talking about it. It is time. Like, let's go. And, we have workouts that we're posting every week. We have meals that we're posting every week. We're doing lives. We're sharing mindset tips, self-care, everything that I feel like we need as women. We're sharing it.
Yep. And the biggest thing is, all you need to do is plug yourself into this. And that's it. That's the only missing piece. Because if you're doing 1%, a little 1% each day, there's no way you can't succeed.
Totally agree.
So. Yeah. Is there anything else that we missed here? Or I feel like that's a good note to.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's life is crazy for everybody, and it's the habits that you build that are going to set you up for success. And so hopefully you can just take one or two things that we shared with you in here and start incorporating them in your life. I know for me, I'm going to definitely go back to making sure that I'm packing food. That was really big for me. And then using my supplements to make up the difference when I'm not 100%,
And that's something I think me too is my supplements. Like, I didn't bring them with us this weekend because we were traveling, but I have the big bottles, like my collagen and stuff like that. And I can tell when I don't have them. I mean, our body needs that support. So I agree.
Well, thanks for doing this with me.
I look forward to it every day, or every time we do it. I'm like, whatever. One thing I want to say before we leave you guys is, drop something. If you have a tip, drop it in the comments. So the rest, everybody else, because we're two people. I mean, I'd like to think we have lots to offer, but we're only two people, right? And it's like, what do they say? All the boats rise together.
Yeah, when the tide rises, all of the boats rise, or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. So it's like, we're stronger together, and we want everyone to have a voice here. So
I love that.
All righty. Happy Monday, everybody. I'll see ya.